With Season 13 coming July 25th to Sea of Thieves, I figured now would be as good time as any to give you my review of Season 12 of Sea of Thieves. The first time I've gotten back into this game since many years ago, and I'm happy to be sailing on the high seas of Sea of Thieves once again. As with tradition with all my other reviews on my channel, we're going to go over the pros, the cons, as well as the verdict. Your thoughts, views, opinions, and review of Season 12, Sea of Thieves, welcome as always below in the comments section. So let's go ahead and hoist up the pros. The game is finally on the PlayStation 5. That is a day I never thought that would happen. But it has been a huge boon to Sea of Thieves as well as PlayStation pirates out there. Quite a few have been dreaming of the day that they would get to play Sea of Thieves on the PS5, and that day has finally come. There was some issues we'll talk about in the cons, but overall, a swashbuckling good time is being had by PlayStation pirates now on the high seas of Sea of Thieves. There were some new weapons added courtesy of Season 12. Bone Caller, Scatter Shot, Throwing Knives, as well as the Double Barrel Pistol. A lot of people really like the Throwing Knives. The Double Barrel Pistol we'll circle back to in the cons section. There's also some pretty major quality of life improvements to the game. Definitely a huge pro. The ability to walk on harpoon lines makes it faster to get on and off ship from the islands as well as other ships. Zip lines were also added to some of the larger islands in the game, making it easier to get back down to the beach from high elevation. Another new item that was added to the game that is a pro with an asterisk by it is the Horn of Fair Winds. This is a pretty fun new treasure. You can sell it, but you can also use it for multiple things. Putting out fires, blowing friends and enemies off your boat, making the boats go faster. You can turn a rowboat into a motorboat. Overall, the Horn of Fair Winds is a pro whenever you can find them. The Plunder Pass was pretty good. There was definitely some free rewards to be had, so you didn't have to buy the Plunder Pass because there's a free section and I guess you could say a premium section, and it was pretty easy to get through, so I'll definitely consider that to be a pro. And a lot of Sea of Thieves fans that don't have a problem with financially supporting the game, whether through the Emporium or Plunder Pass or both, also consider this to be a pro because it keeps the game going with future seasons and content. And speaking of the community, I definitely think the community events that have been happening and still transpiring in Season 12 is a pro. We've had a Golden Glory Weekend, Gilded Voyages, and coming up June 15th through the 17th, we have the Community Weekend that a lot of pirates are looking forward to. And one more pro before we head forth into the cons is the fact that as an old school Sea of Thieves player from the very early days on Xbox, now playing predominantly on PS5, I thank you, Rare, for making it pretty easy for us to be able to transfer our character, our content, commendations, everything that we had earned on Xbox over to the PS5, which is definitely another pro in my opinion. As we now chart a path towards less friendly waters of the cons, the Kiwi beard errors that happened for a quick minute during the early days of Sea of Thieves post-launch on PS5, that was obviously very upsetting to a lot of PlayStation players, and I think it affected Xbox and PC to some degree as well. I've noticed that there's quite a few different beard errors that pop up whenever the problem occurs, and there is a list of the different beard errors. But the one that a lot of PlayStation pirates will remember in the early days of Sea of Thieves on the PS5 is the now infamous Kiwi beard error. Some players are still having issues to this day, unfortunately. For that, I would highly advise you contact Sea of Thieves support. Hopefully they'll help you resolve any issues that you're having. But to be fair, Rare has publicly addressed the problems that have occurred in Season 12 and are committed to hopefully fixing those issues, because there's still more to be found, like minor glitches, like the crests of our ships' names not appearing, and on the title not appearing whenever you like look up another player's ship on the scope. I think those have been problems for a quick minute now in the game. But the larger issues are disconnects, game crashes, even post Kiwi Beard weeks later. I still find myself playing the game with friends and all of a sudden my game will crash, or else it will kick me out of the game back to the main lobby every once in a while, which is very annoying, especially when we're in a spot of bother, a fight with another ship of players, or we're in the middle of a mission. It is very annoying when it comes to being disconnected as well as game crashes. Hopefully Rare is looking into those problems as well. The double barrel pistol, as I mentioned, is technically a pro because it's one of the new weapons in the game for players. However, it is one of the weakest weapons in the game, and a lot of pirates don't exactly like this particular pistol. Speaking of the double barrel pistol, news update just dropped from Sea of Thieves' official YouTube account and social media regarding new ship speeds and the double barrel pistol buffs. So obviously Rare is focusing on improving the double barrel pistol. The rarity of the horns. As much fun as the horns of fair wind are, and you can sell them, it's very hard to find them, and I think it's gotten a lot rarer than it once was. It's been at least a week since we found even one single horn on a sunken ship, and that's usually how we found them. I definitely think the rate of horns spawning need to be increased and maybe tied into like taking out a kraken or a megalodon. Maybe the sea monsters, once defeated, they'll drop a horn as well. I'm not expecting it to find it on every single island that I hop around on, but it would be nice if I found the horn on a more regular occasion than I currently am, especially like in shipwrecks with sea monsters, etc. Especially since there is some sales that are tied to getting 250 horns of fair winds. At this rate, it's going to be a few centuries before I finally get 250 horns in order to finally unlock those sales. And the final con, which is controversial to a lot of veteran Sea of Thieves players, is the Stone Curse being locked behind the paid version of the Plunder Pass. Up until this point, the curses were something that you could eventually achieve and unlock in the game through various means. It's no surprise that a lot of pirates out there are not exactly happy with Rare for locking the Stone Curse behind the Plunder Pass, even if the majority of them are going to buy the Plunder Pass anyways because they are huge fans of the game and they want to continue to financially support it. I get the theme of the recent Plunder Pass. It was regarding Medusa, but at the same time, I do have a problem with curses being locked behind the paywall version of the Plunder Pass. Hopefully Rare has listened to that feedback and will not make that same mistake again going forward. Yeah, I spoke too soon. So there you go, the pros, cons. Time now for my verdict regarding Season 12. I thought that overall this was a really good season despite some of the issues that it has. I'm glad that we now have expanded the player base to Sea of Thieves to PlayStation Pirates, myself included. I did start off originally on Xbox, and I was able to migrate my account over. So I'm glad that Rare took that into consideration when it came to potential old school Sea of Thieves pirates that might have started on Xbox but eventually moved over to the PS5. Most of the new items, the quality of life improvements, and being on a new platform has breathed some new wins into the sales of Sea of Thieves going forward in 2024. And I'm absolutely looking forward to the Burning Blade coming into the game, along with the return of Flameheart in Season 13. And eventually, I will also do a review of Sea of Thieves Season 13 somewhere down the road once it has officially come out and I've had a few weeks to check it out. Your thoughts, views, opinions regarding Sea of Thieves Season 12, welcome, as always, below in the comments section.